Well, that one hurt. What's up, Broncos country? My name is Brandon Gilchrist. Whew. Well, 75,261 fans at Mile High got to watch our Broncos lose a tough one on Sunday. There are a lot of lessons learned to be taken away from this one, but it's been a minute. For those of you that were worried about the streak going into the playoffs, you got your wish. The Broncos dropped one. They also lost their home game winning streak in this loss. This was a tough, physical contest where both teams really brought it the first half, and then this one really got away from the Broncos. Trevor Lawrence showed why he's the number one pick, and man, Liam Cohen has this team humming. Let's talk about the atmosphere real quick before we get into the game. Again, Mile High was electric. The crowd was in this one until they realized this game was just completely out of reach for the Broncos. The pregame ceremony this time around included Apache helicopters for the flyover, and that was a beautiful sight before this game. I think everyone was amped because there was a Jags team feeling disrespected and a Broncos team that is just starting to get respect in this one. This game felt louder than the Packers game, interestingly enough. It's a shame we couldn't come away with the win in this one. It almost feels like there just wasn't enough at stake for the Broncos. Overall, I want to start where this game ended with Pat Bryant. It was a scary situation at the stadium, and all of the energy at that point was gone. A brutal hit that came, frankly, when this game was already out of reach. Glad to find out that he was released from the hospital, and there were no further injuries beyond the concussion. It was frustrating that he was put in that position when, frankly, this game was out of reach for the Broncos. Everything we talked about came up in this game, starting with the penalties. The Broncos had 6 penalties for 61 yards come up in the game. It didn't feel like it impacted the game that much. That being said, there were 2 untimely penalties that absolutely kept the momentum in the Jaguars' favor. The Broncos were also not committed to the run in this one. I understand they were facing the number 1 rush defense in this one, but they were finding success. RJ Harvey once again showed his explosiveness. The attempts mattered just as much as the yards. The attempts mattered just as much as the yards. And then our defense. Since the Commanders game, the defense is allowing a bunch of yards between the 20s. That's not where it stayed. The Jaguars were also successful in the red zone. They got pressure on Trevor Lawrence in the first half, but that seemed to completely go away by the second half. The Jaguars were able to stay on the field, convert third downs, and they were 4 for 5 in the red zone. It almost felt like the Broncos got baited into a passing contest when that's just not our game at all. And we let the Jags come into our house and tell us how the game was going to go. This day felt like it was going to be a little bit different right from the start in the first quarter, starting with the missed 44-yard field goal from Will Lutz. A doink right off the uprights. Then our defense has the Jaguars in a 3rd and long, and an untimely penalty resets the downs for them, which culminated in a touchdown drive for them. This is the PJ Locke hit. As I said, the stadium was loud, and I just think he didn't hear the whistle. It's unfortunate. Our only lead of the day came with the 54-yard field goal after a game-tying touchdown to Cortland Sutton. Then he had the Broncos come out strong in the 3rd quarter. A great rushing touchdown from RJ Harvey, continuing to rack up those touchdowns for us. But again, this was in the chase position, only trying to catch the Jaguars. Then the Jaguars are driving again, and we have another untimely penalty on a 3rd and 1, where Malcolm Roach is called for roughing the passer. He landed with his weight on the quarterback, though when you talk about what penalties were called and what penalties weren't called in this game, it wasn't consistent at all, but it kept the Jaguars on the field and again culminated in a touchdown. At this point, the Jaguars don't give the lead back. They put together another drive after the Broncos go 3 and out, and Parker Washington makes our defense look foolish. Watching it live, you're just going, missed tackle, missed tackle, missed tackle. It was frustrating to see. Any chances of a comeback in this one were completely shattered with the turnovers by our offense. A fumble on an RPO play where it looks like Jaleel and Bo were fighting for the ball. And then you have an interception thrown by Bo where basically you can tell the whole offense is pressing because time is running out. This just wasn't the Broncos' day. When we look at the defense as a whole, statistically, they were able to match what they did against the Packers. 5 sacks, 14 quarterback hits, 0 turnovers on Trevor Lawrence. The key piece here was our defense, as of late, has been allowing way too many third down conversions, and it happened again on Sunday. We got gashed again in the passing game, and it just seems like there's holes all over the field in our coverage that our opponent's passing games are exposing. The weird thing about it is it's happened more since Pat Surtain has gotten back, and it's not him allowing it to happen on the field. So I don't know what adjustments have been made with our defense since he's returned, but it's concerning. We talked about Parker Washington making our defense look foolish, but my goodness, there were missed tackles all over the field. There was a missed tackle on the Travis Etienne touchdown. Trevor Lawrence's rushing touchdown. It looked like the defense didn't even account for him whatsoever. The defense taking some untimely penalties kept them on the field as well. Our defense looks vulnerable at the back half of this season, and they need to fix it fast. When it comes to our offense, statistically, they outgained the Jaguars. You can account for some of this with us trying to chase and press to catch up to them. But the difference maker here was our inability to convert third downs. The Broncos went 5 for 14 on third downs. They also didn't capitalize in the red zone at one point late in the game, opting to kick a field goal instead of going for a touchdown. Bo Nix throwing 47 times is not the identity of the Broncos, and it is not the identity of the Broncos offense. You look at Bo early and in the first half of this game, and he was solid. 65% completion, just over 100 yards, a passing touchdown. But then we got away from it, and the balance was lost. That's when the interception came. The rhythm was just off for the offense on this one. It was a combination of the drops we saw, the play calling, and Bo seemingly unsettled. I already mentioned we didn't rush enough in this one. 17 rushes total in the game. That's egregious. Yeah, you say we got 100 yards, but one of those was the almost 40-yard run from Harvey. And I understand it didn't feel like the rushing game was working, but we were so quick to get away from it. And I'll say it again. The attempts matter just as much as the yards. You gotta force the opposing defense to continue to account for the run. There were gashes out there. I can't believe we're walking from a game where RJ Harvey only had 7 carries. 7! And he was excellent. A rushing touchdown, and he continues to be a factor in the passing game. The way we use RJ is perfect. We just need to do it more. In terms of our special teams, the Jaguars won in this fashion too. They completely contained Marvin Mims. No big returns from him. We had a missed field goal from Will Lutz from 44 yards out. The Broncos were consistently put in long field positions, and we weren't able to stay on the field. Let's talk about Build the Bunker, Bring the Thunder. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't have a Bring the Thunder at this point. The Broncos got punched in the mouth, and I'm not sure if there's anything where we want to see more of coming out of this game. In terms of Build the Bunker, the injuries. It was a really physical game, and we have some key people that we're going to be keeping our eyes on this week before this Thursday game. That includes Dre Greenlaw, Nate Adkins, Pat Bryant, and Delarian Turner-Yell. In terms of a weekly salute, one person comes to mind for me in this one, and that's RJ Harvey. Once again, he's putting together a consistent performance. Does his rushing ability need to improve? Yes, but that's only going to come with reps. And if we're not going to commit to giving him reps, I don't know what we're doing. Balance it with Jaleel McLaughlin. We've seen that it works, and we have to be able to rush to be successful in these playoffs. Salute to RJ Harvey and his work on Sunday. I hope we can continue to get you incorporated into this offense. This one hurt, y'all. But the Broncos have to recuperate fast. And it will be a hostile environment. I don't care who's under center for the Chiefs. The good news is the Broncos still have everything right in front of them. They still control their destiny. They just need to focus on winning. What do you think are the takeaways after this Broncos loss? Do you think it was good the streak was broken before the playoffs? I personally was rooting for them to win it all in an uncommon way, because that's just been who they are this season, but here we are. Let me know in the comments what you think. As always, be kind. Talk to you soon, Broncos country.